ranch was founded by my father about 40 years ago, and it started with an initial purchase of 450 acres. And over time, over that 40-year time span, it's grown to about 3,000 acres. I'm the second generation that's on the ranch that's trying to come along and learn from my dad and our ranch manager. And then I have the 9-year-old little boy who's the third generation that lives on the ranch as well. Our ranch is at the convergence of two broad ecological regions. So we're in the High Plains ecoregion, so that's that rolling prairies that you see. But then we also drop down into Cross Timbers ecological region. So it's not very straightforward how to manage very thin soil types and then very deep soil types, right? And so we really try to focus on ecological communities and really hone in the cattle's disturbance where maybe that deeper bottomland might need more disturbance, and lightly graze those thinner soils where those cattle might have a tendency to overgraze. So instead of focusing on EPDs such as carcass weight, marbling, ribeye area, we're focusing on maternal traits and the smaller framed cow that is fit for our landscape. Our net profits over time have increased on average about 40%. So we're seeing a much healthier income by just focusing on what it takes for us to get from point A to point B.
Soil health, in a sense, drought-proofs our ranches. If our soil is healthy, it can take in more water, so we have a higher effective rainfall, and we have healthier plants that are better able to withstand the drought. But what we need to do as managers is do a good job grazing those plants to make the plants more healthy, and in turn those plants feed the microbes. And in return for that, those microbes make more plant nutrients available. So it's a cycle that it keeps expanding over time and making the operations more sustainable.
Rotational grazing certainly helps get a balance of feed and forage for the livestock while also balancing that ecosystem for wildlife, for pollinators, and really bringing back a diverse system.
Conservation is near and dear to my heart. So far, I've documented over 660 species that call our land home, that are within our ranch's boundaries. But on top of that, I've documented over 109 different species of birds that call our landscape home. And so, my job and my conviction is to make sure that this entire ecosystem is working in as natural and healthy state as possible using cattle, because again, that affects my bottom line, right? By building in resilience, it has really helped me survive drought. It has helped me survive flooding situations, right? And so we can talk about species conservation, carbon sequestration, water quality and quantity. That all has a direct effect on my bottom line.
NRCS's basis is really the 9 steps of conservation planning. We work with private landowners, farmers, ranchers, foresters, one-on-one on their operation. And what we do is really work in sync with them to meet their goals and objectives. Everything that the producers do with NRCS is voluntary conservation. So we assess their resources, offer alternatives, they make decisions, and then essentially implement that conservation plan. Agriculture is a part of the solution, it's not a problem. So we want to utilize our conservation practices to be able to set up everyone for success while being able to mitigate the climate and the change that's going on across the world and across Texas.
They need additional tools, be it digital tools, be it how do we produce products differently, bring different new alternative products to the market that can help them make that transition easier as they try to move forward into more sustainable practices than what they're already doing.
They have this conservation ethic and this well-being in themselves that they're wanting to give back not only to their family and operation, but all Texans. And being able to keep it as a whole and being able to provide, beef and other products, but also the clean water and clean air and open space is very important to them.
At the end of the day, they want to do what's right. They want to care for the land, and they want to pass it on to the next generation. That's what we hear time and time again, and to give their children and the world something better.